I feel like shit.
Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
It's just one of those
happy days. The weekend comes, the cycle runs.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is
Just knock it off, you scum fuckhead.
it's just one of those days. It's just one of
Monday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of those.
Tuesday, happy days.
It's just one of those
Happy
days.
The weekend comes, the cycle runs. Ready to make stays.
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, leaves with the bloodstain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better shoot, cause I'm fucking up your program. And you go stuck up, you just locked up. Next in line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just,
I'm losing my cool.
it's all
Monday,
about,
happy days.
it's just one of those,
Happy days.
it's just one of those
Happy
days.
The weekend comes, the cycle runs. Ready to make stays. These days,
I feel like shit. My suggestion is keep the distance. Right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the bonds.
My day keeps going this way and this way.
I'm gonna pop you one so you'll stop playing games.
Give me something great. Give me something great. I hope you know I'm like a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
So come and get. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Moody, and welcome to episode 30 of the Mood of the Nation podcast. Cannot believe we're actually at 30 episodes already, but 20 away to hitting 50, which is crazy. But hey, that's beside the point, of course. No worries. How is everyone doing this fine Sunday evening? Hope everyone's had a great weekend. And let me have a look and see who's in the chat just now. I had a tremendous day yesterday, which I'll definitely cover that in just a short second. But first of all, we have Steve Cray in the house. How you doing? Thank you for watching. Whoop whoop. Greetings, white people. Greetings to you too. Whoop whoop. Thank you very much. Sorry, excuse me. Let's see. Rory Herbert. Hail to the chief. Well, thank you very much, Rory. Appreciate that. Send some communum. Hello, everybody, peeps. Thank you very much for being here, Sensum. And also, thank you to Sensum. Thank you to Mark. Thank you to other channels on Telegram, especially the I can't even say it. Patriotic Alternative official Telegram page for sharing the stream tonight, which I really do appreciate that. If you're watching, thank you very much. Thank you for that. We have English Sailor. How you doing? Thank you for watching. Felix Boru. Glory to the Gales in Britain, 14 people. Thank you very much, Felix. Thank you for being here. Late. I was only just maybe a couple minutes late. I was just double checking on a couple things from Telegram, just to make sure if there was anything to cover, like for articles and whatnot, which is one thing I'll be covering anything like that tonight. I'm not entirely too sure yet, but I'll cover that in just a short second. We have Canny Henny. How you doing? Thank you very much for watching. Chris Jones, evening to you too, sir. Thank you very much for watching. We also have Hightower 005. How you doing, Hightower? Thank you very much for being here. What Tyler 1381, evening to you too. Thank you very much. English Weather, how you doing? Thank you for watching. Exiled Viking, how you doing? Jojo Gizmo, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching. We also have Aunt Sally. How you doing? Thank you very much for watching the show. Covered Steve Cray already. Tony Smith, how you doing? Thank you for watching the show. Adam Darnell, I mean it just in time. Well, you're very lucky with that. Thank you very much for watching the show. Kitchen Skillet, how you doing? Thank you for watching the show as well. We also have Steve Shaw. Hello, nationalist brothers and sisters. How you doing, Steve? Thank you very much for watching tonight's episode. Really appreciate that. Hello, Noel. How you doing? Kingdom of Vinland. Howdy, I'm doing well. That's good to hear. Thank you very much for watching the show. tickety boo. Whoop whoop. Weekends don't last as long as they used to. Yeah, I'm kind of noticing that as well. In terms, like, it does go very, very quickly, in my opinion. Like, I'm sure a lot of people might agree with that as well. Hi, Chief. Did you look up that guy? Alec? No, sorry, Colin. It's just because a lot of stuff has been going on recently, especially with yesterday's conference, which I'll get into that in just a short second. I've just really been focusing on that at the moment. So again, my apologies for that. I'll see. I have written it down in my notebook, so have a look and see after tonight, or maybe even during the show for that matter. We can have a look at that and then see from there, of course. Gnome White, even to you too. Thank you for watching. Odyssey is up Shit Creek tonight. Is it? I thought maybe it would be a lot better than usual, but apparently it's having a lot of issues at the moment. That's not doing too good, is it? Damn it. Dragon Energy, how you doing? Thank you for watching. We also have Woodlander. How you doing, Woodlander? Thank you very much for watching. Let me see. Anglo-Saxon. All right, Chief, folks. Hello, Anglo. Thank you very much for watching the show. I think that's about it in terms of who's watching or who's actually in the chat just now. So that's good to see. Excellent. Thank you all again very much for watching the show tonight, especially being 30 episodes in, which I still cannot believe that. But hey, it's very good to see that. I was going to say popularity, but I think in terms of the amount of episodes the show has been going on regarding to that. So it's really good to see. Hold on a minute. First time listening after PA posted your chat link. Oh, that's good, David. Thank you very much for being here. Really do appreciate that. If you're new here, then please subscribe to the channel. Also give the stream a like if you wouldn't mind. That would be much appreciated. We also have, lastly, English Rose. Ethan, oh, sorry I'm late. Not to worry, English, as long as you're here. That's the main thing. Thank you very much for being here. Anyways, just after 7 minutes in the stream, let's have a look and see what to cover. So I'll definitely cover yesterday's event with PA Scotland and just right now, actually. Yesterday was the first year anniversary of Patriotic Alternative Scotland. A lot of people, it was actually quite a good turnout that came yesterday. A lot of people did turn up, and everyone followed the code of conduct extremely well. Everyone was very happy. Everyone enjoyed themselves. The speeches were amazing regarding to that, especially a lot of familiar faces. We had Steve Blake, we had Jody Kay, we had Kenny who did a speech, and there's others who, of course, obviously for privacy's sake, I can't exactly say who they are because I'm not entirely too sure if. Of course, I'm not going to say their real names, obviously, regarding to that. But their pseudonyms, even then, I think, again, just for privacy's sake, maybe they don't want to get themselves out there. If there is one person I really want to give a special shout out to, and just before I say this, I'm not saying obviously this is the best speech out of all of them. Everyone's speeches they've all done were absolutely tremendous, and honestly, they should pat themselves on the back for that. Tremendous work they've all done. If there is one speech I really did enjoy, and I really, really want to give a special shout out to, it's a gentleman by the name of Jay. Now, Jay, for those of you who remember, he was one of the guests who came on Mood of the Nation. I think it was the 27th or 28th episode. It's the show where I had both members of PA Young Scots on. So hopefully, if he doesn't mind me saying this regarding to this, but Jay, if you're watching, your speech was absolutely tremendously done, absolutely spectacular. Your delivery, the way all the themes that you talked about. Honestly, from what I've known of you, but before that point, obviously you're a great guy, very friendly, very nice to get along with, and all of that. That speech, nothing but respect after that. That was absolutely tremendous stuff you did. Of course, when I say that, I really don't want to come off as if his speech was the best out of all of them. As I said, everyone's speeches were tremendous. It's just I thought, just to give a special shout out to that gentleman, which is why I would definitely still recommend you all checking out PA Young Scots if you have the chance to. And you could easily find it on the PA Scotland's Odyssey channel through playlists, if you will, with that. In fact, I'm actually see if I could post the link in the chat just now, because there's one other link, if I can bring this up real quick. I did talk about this on the last episode of Mood of the Nation, but if you all can, please share this link just now. It's the link for the Chris Donald Bridge petition that's on the PA website. Now, I know, as I said, I covered this on the last episode, but I think it's really important that we really need to get this petition out there and get people to sign it. Even just before the show started, I've seen it has about 1,000. Hold on a sec. How many exactly? It was about. Sorry, excuse me. Let me see. Yeah, 1,523 signatures so far out of a goal of 2,000 signatures. Please, 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 if you haven't signed it already, which I'm pretty sure everyone here has done already, but please, even if you've already signed it, please share it. Share it across all forms of platforms like Telegram, Gab, and all of that. Please share it around. Like, we really need to get this petition signed by a lot of people. It definitely would be important that if we do sign it, it would be a best way to honor Chris Donald's memory to have that bridge named after him. So please, please, please get more people to sign the petition. While I'm also at it, I almost forgot to do this. Hold on one second. So Odyssey, PA Scotland, right. And of course, if you listen, this is where you can find PA Young Scots here. Let me see just now. Time to unite the clans. Justin, hope I didn't miss too much. And no worries, Gammon Sandwich. You did not miss a lot. The only thing I was just talking about just now was my time yesterday with the PA Scotland conference, the first year anniversary of PA Scotland's conference. And of course, talking about that. Very, very great day. I mean, honestly, I'm actually so glad that I may have already talked about this on a show, multiple times, but I just really want to take the time just to say just how glad I really am to meet such fine people within that group. I know there's possibly more other great people from other PA regional groups, but I'm just so glad that I joined PA Scotland and meeting a lot of really great people within the group. And another thing I wanted to mention too is that there's other people from PA Scotland, of course, who couldn't be able to make it due to work situations or family situations or anything like that at all, which is understandable. I can understand why they couldn't make it, but even still, I'm sure that they're there in spirit regarding to that. But I'm still very glad that I became part of PA Scotland, and as I said, meeting a lot of really great people. As I said, their speeches, their banter, and all of that, absolutely fantastic. Oh, no, 1 second here. Roy Herbert, Chief Moody, happy birthday to Mark Collett. Oh, that's right. I even gave birthday wishes to Mark Collett earlier on Telegram. But yes, for those who don't know, today is Mark Collett's birthday today, which is actually, of course, fantastic news to hear. And as I said, I gave him some birthday wishes on Telegram earlier today. So what I can ask you all to do, if you don't mind, just real quick, if you could put a 14 in the chat for Mark as a way of saying happy birthday to him and all of that, I think that would be much appreciated. And hopefully the 14s will be popping through in the chat just now. Anyway, another thing to mention was regarding to the conference yesterday. It was actually, of course, it's pretty much, it was already public domain from the groups anyway regarding to this, but Jodie Kay was there. That was my first time I actually met Jodie Kay. Absolutely lovely woman to meet. Well, there was a lot of great people who I never met before, but ended up getting to meet them that night. Again, fantastic people to speak to regarding to that. Even I hope he doesn't mind me saying, Barclay Walsh was there for the conference as a visitor. Barclay, if you're watching, as I said last night, it was lovely to meet you. Hopefully, we could do a stream together if you want, or maybe hopefully, but with the next main national conference with PA, hopefully we can meet each other during that conference. Hopefully, speaking in this case, but Jodie, it was. If you're watching, Jodie, I don't know if you are, but it was a pleasure meeting you. Same thing with Barclay Walsh. Hopefully, we'll do a stream together on my show or your show one day, and hopefully, we'll meet each other again with the main national conference regarding to that. And that was another great speech that I've listened to that day with with Jodie's really. I mean, obviously she does talk about nationalism and her time becoming a nationalist and becoming part of PA. It's stuff I've listened to before, but there was other parts about her speech that really caught me off guard. It was quite emotional regarding to that. But nevertheless, it was still a really good speech regarding to that. In fact, everyone did really great speeches during that conference yesterday, including Steve Blake. It was my first time meeting him as well. Hold on one second here. Marcola and Putin share a zodiac sign. The zodiac signs, yeah. That's fair enough. Making a fresh cowl, fair enough. Yeah, I see if there's a lot of 14s in the chat. Well, that's really good to hear, or Kiara, good to see, I should say. Amanda Lee, how you doing? Afternoon, all listen to the stream as I'm cooking dinner. Oh, that's good to hear, Amanda. Thank you very much. Let me see here. Yep, 14, 41. Excellent, known white. Let's have a look here. The people you meet in nationalism are the opposite of the caricatures were made out to be. I know that's very true. Very true indeed. Because we always see from the mainstream media, they always talk about nationalists from any nationalist group for that matter are these thuggish, neo-Nazi types and all of that, skinheads and whatnot. But if you actually go to like an actual nationalist conference and meeting people, as Whoop said in the chat, you even realize that they're the polar opposite of that. So it's definitely breaking the caricature mold of what the media are trying to portray us nationalists as. So what else to talk about? Regarding to the conference? Well, I did stay around for dinner that night because the conference itself started around about 11 o'clock. Well, it went on to about 11:30 because I think there were still a couple of people that were still showing up. And once everyone showed up, it's just to get a chance for people to get settled in and all of that. And of course, there we go. So I see people in the chat like a terrorist question mark. Total thug girl. Yeah, exactly that. But no, technically the whole conference started at 11:30. And then we finished up at 5 p.m. Now, some people did leave, possibly because other commitments they were going on later that day or that night. But then some people asked me, "Hey, Chief, are you going to be sticking around for dinner with us tonight?" Of course, Jodie asked me, Barclay asked me, I think a few others from PA Scotland asked me as well. I was like, "Oh, I wasn't aware there was going to be dinner that evening," but originally I was going to say no, mainly because I didn't want to miss the train, or at least hope I wouldn't miss the train that night anyway. But then I thought, well, no, I had really anything to eat or drink for that matter. I've only had like one drink of Copperberg that night, but then even after that I had a glass of cola, and after that when we went to the restaurant, I just only had a glass of water, and then that was pretty much it, because I wasn't planning on drinking that night anyway. But even then it was like, well, I'm not really planning on anything for dinner anyway, so it's like, well, screw it, I'll just go with them, why not? So we went to this restaurant, got a table set up for everybody. Well, technically there was like a big long table, because I think there was about 22 of us that went. There was a big long table for certain section for the guys, and then there was another round table for 6 people. I was one of the few that took the round table for dinner. Sorry, excuse me. But other than that, yeah, it was a very delicious meal. I mean, obviously, it was like what was it I had? It was a double bacon cheeseburger with skinny fries. But yeah, again, with just a glass of water. Wasn't anything too special, but it was a pretty decent meal after that with coleslaw. That was actually pretty good. Again, really good night. The only thing I would really say was that I should have maybe checked the times on what time would be the last train for last night. Mainly because I thought maybe I might be able to get a train from, say, Steve Shaw says, Knights of the Round Table. Exactly. But I thought the last train would be around about just before 11, well, just after 11-ish and maybe just before 12-ish. But the last train I had to take was about 10:51 p.m. But then I had to stop at one station and then get off that station or get off the train for that station and then move to the next platform. So then that way I would get another train to get to the station I was supposed to be at. Of course, that's the station back home. The problem was that for the first train to get, the last train would have been 10:51. So just after 10:51, I was like, bollocks. So then I had to ask one of the guys, like, hey, I don't want to be a pain in the arse, but is there any chance you could maybe drop me off at my actual house and I can give you petrol money for it? And they're like, yeah, of course, absolutely. We're not going to have you standing out in the middle of nowhere, especially late at night. So I was very, very thankful for that. What else can I really talk about? Well, actually, yeah, there was actually one thing else I could talk about real quick. It's still to do with the conference itself. Hi, what day is it today? Hello, thank the Lord. Today is Sunday. It doesn't really feel like a Sunday, but maybe that's just me. But even then, yesterday didn't really feel like a Saturday either. But again, that's just me. Double bacon cheeseburger, OMG, my favorite too. Yeah, it was quite delicious. I wouldn't say it was the best burger I've had, but it was still pretty delicious nonetheless. Rory Herbert, what, no haggis? No, I think the restaurant is more. It's not like Scottish themed or anything like that at all. But it would have been nice if they did had any haggis there for like food options. But alas, they never had anything like that, which is a shame, really a shame. I don't know. It's Romper Stomper in the gym. Dragon Energy, real quick. All the Nats I've ever met have been absolutely lovely people. Total opposite to what the media say. Exactly that Dragon Energy, as we talked about earlier on. That's absolutely fantastic. Hold on. This is the thing. I'm pagan and follow my ancestors. Did that make me a nationalist by default or a Celtic socialist? Laugh my ass off. That's a pretty good question, Felix. I mean, I say in my opinion, it just really depends with that, but it just really depends. Oh, hold on, what's that? RW even T2, thank you very much for watching the show. Let me see. I think I'm all up to date with the chat just now, so that should be fine and dandy. Yeah, perfect. One last piece of not information. That sounds like I'm going through a document or anything like that. But basically, I bought a book yesterday during the conference. This was just after one of the. I think it was just after Jodie's speech. In fact, I think. And just when we were going on a short coffee break for 15 to 30 minutes, I think it was, because the last speaker of that day was Steve Blake's speech, which, of course, again, a very good speech he did. But even then, just before I went on that coffee break, they were selling books there. It was only just the one type of book, but I think this was a book they were doing for PA Scotland's book club. And the book I have here, and I'm not entirely too sure if anyone in the chat maybe has read this before or maybe has heard of it within our circles. It's a book called Hammer of the Patriot, a handbook on rhetorical counterterrorism by Charles Chappell. Now, I've not read this book as of yet. It's a pretty short book. In fact, there's about how many pages? Hold on, let me just double check. I think it's about 144 pages, which is pretty small, but that's really good. Now, as I said, I haven't read this yet. What I have seen of this book, because other people within PA Scotland, of course, we talked about this as well, and even we went through it as well together. From what I've seen of this book, it looks like it's more of, and I could be completely wrong when I'm saying this, but it looks like it's a book that is all to do with arguments and rebuttals. So what I mean by that is, if there's ever a time where you yourself are out in public or online, you're engaging a discussion or, well, I don't want to say like a debate, but maybe more like an argument with a leftist or a Sitna for that matter, then this book would be very handy with that, because it covers a lot of topics, including, say, ethnic nationalism, freedom, democracy, judging the situation, moral relativism, stuff like feminism / natural gender roles, religion and society, homosexuality, human rights, diversity, Jews, etc., racial differences, and so on and so on. So I'll see if I can give this a short read later on today, if not tomorrow after work. I will definitely see from there. So, but yeah, I'm not entirely too sure which website you can actually get this on, but the book, as I said, is called Hammer of the Patriot. Even what I was going to say, as I said, I'm going to have a read through this book, whether it be later on or throughout this week or whatnot. When I finish it, and if you guys want, of course, I can maybe possibly talk about this book. Seeing people in the chat referencing Jews, shut it down. But I was going to say, I could possibly talk about this book in like a somewhat pseudo review, if you will, like review / discussion on that. And of course, we could definitely see from there. Not too sure if maybe it could be just myself talking about the book, or maybe I could bring someone on the show and maybe talk about it as well, like together, and maybe go through it together as well. But I'll see what I can come up with, because as ultimately you guys is what was I going to say? You guys is you guys is, that's not even like a right word. Sorry. It's entirely up to yourselves whether or not, if this is something you would like to see on a future episode of Mood of the Nation, of me talking about the book Hammer of the Patriot, and then see from there. Not too sure if it would be episode 31 or 32 or 33 for that matter, because with me, when it comes to reading books, especially if it's just all text, I'm not really the fastest reader in the world, but I'll definitely have a look into this book and then see from there, of course. But definitely I would say it's going to be worth a read with that. Well, if there's one thing I can maybe mention real quick, and it's something that a few of the guys last night showed me with this book. So I did see the book covers, there's a table of contents, and I did say the book does cover certain topics for that matter. One of them I mentioned was Jews, right? And I wish I could show an image of this, but there's, in terms of which page that not chapter, but that topic starts at in the book. It's so it's the topic is Jews, and then the page number that starts off with that topic is 88, which I don't know if that's maybe too much of a or maybe too much of a coincidence, or if that was intentional, but that's really good. So it's quite funny that I think most of us pretty much laughed at that during the night, which is really good. So really good stuff. Let me just have a quick drink of water. The answer is yes, I am, and question mark. Though, if you haven't been called all the names by now, you're not trying. Yeah, exactly. No, Mike, I'm the only one of my family that hasn't got it. They're all negative for thought, or for C. Though I wouldn't even go near a test. Or that's for Dragon Energy, right? My bad. I have a couple of things to do, but we'll be listening. That's totally fine. Thank the Lord. You do what you have to do. Monsters of Babylon. I'm assuming that's the name of another book. I should definitely have this all written down for like a notebook. Again, just so that, because many people keep telling me, oh, you should read this, you should read that. And I'm just like, guys, there's too many books that you're offering me here. Please stop. But I can definitely see I can have a look into that and, of course, see from there. So, rehydrate, that's fine. Thank the Lord, no worries. That's of course question for known. That's fine. What else is said? Roscoe, hello, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching the show. Let me see. From Whoop. Good debate here about how to respond to being called a racist. Yeah, exactly. I definitely think might not be the book that might be handy for that, but I would definitely say that it could be one of the books that could be pretty handy when it comes to certain debates or arguments for that matter. So we'll definitely see from there. And I'll definitely have a read through that at some point. Let me have a look. See, Ian Marr. Hello, sir. How you doing? Chief Moody. Sorry, I've been absent. Had a lot of issues to sort out. I hope you are well, Moody. No worries, Ian. That's no worries whatsoever. Thank you very much for watching the show. Anyway, I mean, even I was going to say I was dealing with something similar recently. Like was let go of a job, was fallen ill with a head cold, and so on and so forth. But of course, I got a new job, feeling a lot better, and hopefully it'll be something similar to yourself, Ian Marr, with that. So not to worry about missing any episodes or anything like that. As long as you're here now, that's the main thing regarding to that. Amanda Lee, sorry if I have not said hi to everyone in chat, but it's getting a bit on top here in my kitchen. Half dinner burnt, other half raw. Oh dear. Well, not to worry about that, Amanda. I think it's best just to focus on the dinner with that. So, but not to worry regarding to that whatsoever. So pseudonym Num, how you doing? Thank you for watching the stream. And third time's the charm. Lol. Let's see here. Yep. So that's it all up to date with the chat just now. So that's all fine and dandy. Excellent. And there's also Blackwater Park. How you doing? Thank you very much for watching the show. Like, I keep thinking of mispronouncing words or anything like that, but anyway, let's have a look and see what we can do tonight. Killing Angels, hello. How you doing? Thank you for watching the show. All right, Chief and all. How you doing? Another thing I was also going to mention is that because it's Mark's birthday, even though we can't cover this already, but Mark will be streaming later on tonight at 7 p.m. with Sam and the Patriarch. I believe they're going to be doing live streaming, like kind of like a gaming session or whatnot. I don't know what game they'll be playing. I don't know if it's going to be Warzone or anything like that. But as per usual, for something like that, I'll post a link in the chat later on tonight once that does go ahead regarding to that particular stream, and then see from there. So in the meantime, let's have a look and see what we can do this evening, because I didn't really have anything planned to what we can really talk about this evening, but because of course, as I said, it was quite a busy weekend because of the Scottish Conference that happened yesterday, and also regarding to other stuff that was kind of going on at that point. In fact, a bit of a funny story when it comes to my suit I wore last night, which actually looked pretty dapper. Even a lot of people during the conference thought I looked really like smartly dressed, which I was very, very glad to hear. It's mainly because of the suit I bought for the conference was like and I mean a very last minute thing. I bought the suit, so the conference was yesterday on the 2nd of October. I bought the suit on the 1st of October, so on Friday. And it was literally a case of like a last minute shopping for that. Was looking around to see what other suits there were available. There was barely almost anything there whatsoever. They still had blazers, vests, trousers and whatnot, but there wasn't anything that really caught my eye. And I was looking for something that not only matched, but I think that would actually make me look very presentable for the conference. I did pick out a couple of things with that, and of course ended up using that for the conference yesterday, and I got a lot of good reviews for that. Well, not just myself, I would say a lot of people were very smartly dressed for the conference yesterday, which I was really happy with that. So very, very well dressed for yesterday with that. And even another thing I almost forgot to say was that I kind of feel bad that I wasn't really engaging in some conversations. Not really yesterday, but I was saying more last night when we were at the restaurant. It was mainly because that I was exhausted at that point last night. I was feeling really tired because even yesterday morning I woke up round about what time did I set my alarm at? I think it was about 6:30 or something like that. Now I know some of you may be thinking, well, if it started at 11 o'clock or 11:30 and you're waking up 5 hours before, then what's the point in doing that? It's mainly because that, for one thing, I had to get up early, get a shower, get dressed. Then I had to walk up to my nearby train station to get a train, just so that English Rose. You got a pick for that. I don't have a picture of it just yet, but what I will do is that if there's a picture up at some point on PA Scotland or anything like that at all, I can maybe showcase it on my actual Telegram channel. But we'll see. We'll definitely see English Rose. So I would say for the moment, I would just wait for that. So I'll see if I can get something sorted out for that. So we'll see. Let me see what else. What was the other thing I was going to say in regard to that? I lost my train of thought there. Sorry. Yes, sorry. So I was sitting with two members of where I was sitting that night, last night in the restaurant. I was sitting next to two members of PA Scotland, sat with Steve Blake as well, and I believe two members of. And if they're watching, if I get this wrong, I apologize for this. I believe they were from PA as well, but I think they were from the Northeast region, if I'm not mistaken. Again, might be completely wrong on that. If I am, I do apologize for that, but I do know that there are from PA and their supporters, but even then, they've enjoyed the evening, well, not just the evening, but the entire day with PA Scotland as well. So that's really good to hear. That's really good to hear. Kitchen Skillet, did you not wear a kilt? I did not wear a kilt. In fact, I don't think anyone really wore a kilt anyway. There was one gentleman at the conference. Again, I won't say their name just for privacy sake and whatnot. They didn't wear a kilt themselves, but they wore like tartan sort of thing, like a tartan or tartan-ish type of trousers and whatnot. Which I guess is close enough. I think people wasn't really too sure they should wear a kilt or anything like that, because the whole point of the conference, whether it be the main national conference or even the one we had yesterday, the Scottish conference, the whole point of it obviously is to look smartly dressed. And I don't think anyone asked if it was okay to wear a kilt, because I mean, you can make the argument that it's still part of being smartly dressed and whatnot, especially here in Scotland. Many gentlemen or many guys wear a kilt when it's during weddings or any special social events. Again, it's more to do with like traditions and whatnot. So, Dragon Energy, just real quick. Oops, 1 second. Let's see. Oh, James Hayworth, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching the show. P conference sounds fab. Radical extremists just having a nice dinner, so comfy. Yes, definitely, very very comforting, very comforting for that. Let me see. A lot of tartan and kilts are very masculine. Well, there you go. Only real men wear kilts. I'm just kidding. So, well, not really. No, I'm kidding. It's just a bit of banter with that. Let me see here. Let me see. Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say, just finishing off that story of the table I was sitting in the restaurant. If they're watching, I apologize. I didn't really engage with the conversation much. It was just because at that point, as I said, I was just exhausted after that. Like throughout the day, talking to everyone, engaging with like the speeches and whatnot, I was just really, really exhausted after that, and I just wanted to go home and go to bed. That was all I was thinking about when it comes to that point, because I think we all stayed there around about just. Well, the last orders for drinks for that was about 10:30. I think we all left around about just before 11 o'clock. I think. Yeah, because I think the restaurant was closing up at 11 o'clock. So we all had, of course, the staff were like, "Please, just come up to 11 o'clock. Could you all finish up your drinks and and just leave for the evening?" We're like, "All right, fair enough." So then, so we all finished up the drinks, went out, and of course said goodbye to everyone. Then, of course, we all drove back home, and that was that. That was that. Let me see here. I would say in Scotland, wearing a kilt is very smart. It can be very smart. The last time I wore a kilt, oops, wrong one, sorry. Last time I wore a kilt was at my high school prom, I think. And that was back in like maybe, 2011, 2012, maybe 2013. But that was quite a long time ago, but that was the last time I wore a kilt. I think I was the only guy at that prom. Every guy had like a black blazer and whatnot, but had their own individual kilts and whatnot. But for me, I was the only one out of all the guys who had like a blue blazer with a Scotland flag themed kilt regarding to that, which at the time it looked pretty sweet, I have to say. But yeah, those were the times. Those were the times. I really should maybe wear a kilt again at some point. I don't know when, but well, maybe we'll see at some point. I don't even want to say maybe for the main national conference with PA. Maybe I can wear a kilt. Maybe it's sometime in the future. Maybe not this time around, but maybe next time with that. So we'll see. Oh, speaking of which, new content from PA Alternative Scotland, PA Young Scots #5. That's really good to hear. Yeah, so PA Young Scots just released a 5th episode on their channel. This could be a perfect time, and hope they don't mind me doing this, to give them a plug once again. 5th episode. Oh, 5th episode with that. Hold on. Oh, maybe it's not been put up just yet. Right. I'll see if I can sort that out later on. No worries. But the 5th episode's up, so if you want to check it out, then it's there. I'll see if I can post a link later on once it's fully updated with that. But that was that. That was yesterday's first anniversary conference for PA Scotland, and I really cannot wait for next year. Hopefully we'll do it again next year, which I'm sure is going to be an annual thing anyway, and hopefully we'll come back for next year. And I know that I did say earlier on that there was a lot of people that turned out yesterday, a lot of us. I hope that from this point up until the next conference, we get more members joining PA Scotland. Okay, because I think it's going to be turning out, well, again, not just for PA Scotland, but I think a lot of people are really deciding to join up PA at this point, whether it's the Scotland branch or the Yorkshire branch or the West Midlands branch or the Northeast branch or Yorkshire. Did I say Yorkshire already? I don't think I have. But anyway, I think PA is really, really starting to become a lot more popular with a lot of people. And I think it's gaining a lot of traction. Yes, there are people like our enemies, within, enemies outside of PA that are really trying to stop us from doing what we want to do. But I think we are coming a massive way of actually gaining a lot of attraction from a lot of people. Hopefully, we could definitely continue on with that, which is why I would ask people in the chat, if they want to, that's totally fine. If they don't want to, again, I can understand that. I would definitely say, please get more people sign up to PA, because look, even I said the Barmy Army. Oh dear, that's good. Let's see, good, the more the merrier. Exactly, the more the merrier. Because even I've talked about this before. I know Kenny talked about this on other streams like PA Talk, for instance, with Sai and Charlie. For those who haven't joined up with PA or any other group for that matter, who are sick and tired of what's going on with the current climate that's going on at the moment, be the change that you want to see. Get involved, get yourself signed up to PA or any other group for that matter. Well, I would definitely say PA because I'm part of PA, but be the change that you want to see. Don't wait for other people doing the work for you or anything like that. Actually get yourself out there and get yourself activizing if you can, whether it's leafleting, litter picking, community building, you name it. Just do something. Actually just get out there and activize. That's all what we can do with that. But that was it with the conference. I really cannot wait for next year. Well, I was going to say, I actually cannot wait for the main national conference, because for those that don't know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be going to it, but I'm going to be going to the main national conference this late October, which I think is going to be the 30th of October, which of course being on a Saturday. That day, I can't wait. Obviously, I'm going with some members of PA Scotland. I'm going not a lot of us, but I think some members of PA Scotland are going to the main national conference for PA. And I have heard there's going to be a lot more regional groups that will be there. I know Mark's going to be there. I know Laura and Sam are going to be there. I really cannot wait for that as well. Hopefully that's going to be a really good day as well. Because I actually don't know what's going to be happening with speeches regarding to that. But I think, what I definitely will say in terms of speeches during that conference, I think if they really and this is a message that's for, sorry, excuse me, for PA, especially for Mark and Laura and anyone else. If you're looking for people who want to give out speeches for like the main conference, I think you should talk to some people within PA Scotland, because I think there's some, as I said, some of the speeches I've heard yesterday were just absolutely fantastic, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were to be asked, "Hey, you did a speech for the Scottish conference. Would you like to do that, either that same speech or a different speech for the main national conference?" I think that would be very ideal to do that. Because again, as I said, my apologies if I sound like I'm repeating myself here, but like I said, not some, a lot of the speeches yesterday were just absolutely outstanding. Really good stuff to see. Really good stuff. I will be with PA Southeast. Hope to see some of you guys soon. Same with you. Same with you. I think we'll also, just a little bit of a message as well for a lot of people watching. What I think would be beneficial as well, if we're all meeting up, for the main conference, it would be very ideal to say, oh, here, this is who I am, and this is also who I am online with that. So, for example, I can come up to you and say, "Oh, hi, I'm Chief Moody," from YouTube and all of that. And then, of course, after that, I can say my real name, just so, because I think it'd be kind of silly to use the pseudonyms throughout the day or night or anything like that at all. Again, just so that people can, because even Kenny kind of said that to me yesterday, because there's a bit of a funny story to this as well with the speeches. But he did kind of say to me, "Is it probably best to say you're Chief Moody, just so everyone knows exactly who you are and all of that?" Because I met up with Barclay, with Barclay yesterday. It was like, "Oh, Barclay." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hi, I'm Chief Moody." He's like, "Oh, you're Chief Moody. How you doing?" And of course, we had a short chat from there. When we had our coffee break at the conference, and then of course we spoke a little bit more later on when we had the restaurant and whatnot. But again, really good stuff. So I would definitely say for a lot of people, say, you can say either or, your first real name and then your online pseudonym, again, just so that I know who exactly you are, basically. Because there have been times, even with PA Scotland, I know some people, they're like who they are when it comes to that, but there's still some people I'm like, right, who's this person online? Who's that online? They would tell me, and I'm like, "Oh, you're this guy. You yourself, you're that guy, right? Okay, that's fine. As long as I know who's who, then that's totally fine with that." So, but anyway, let me have a look and see in the chat what's also being said. I would like to get involved, but if my Uber progressive employer found out, I'd be toast. Yeah, that's fair enough. I can understand that. Like, if you can't do it because of whatever reasons may be, especially when it comes to stuff like employment, I can understand that. I would also say when it comes to PA, there is also like a vetting process for people who want to become fully vetted members, and of course they become trusted members within the PA. Then of course we do have a vetting system with that. Now I know there's a lot of people, like our enemies, that would say, "Oh, isn't that not going against privacy and whatnot?" To which I would like to say, look, if you want to become the change you want to see, whether it's PA or any other nationalist group for that matter, and if you have, well, I don't mean this in like a bad way when I'm saying this, when regarding to that, but if you don't have a problem with being vetted into the group, then it should be no bother. Put it this way, right, from my perspective on it, right? I've been with PA Scotland ever since maybe October or November or something like that. It was just slightly after when it first formed, because even with that anniversary conference we did yesterday, I'm pretty sure PA Scotland, again, I might be wrong in saying this, but I think PA Scotland opened late September, early October, hence why we had the conference yesterday and whatnot. And I joined up roundabout just slightly after that. I became part of PA Scotland around about November, but I don't know if that also counts as being fully vetted, because I think me being fully vetted was maybe slightly afterwards. I don't know if that was maybe in December or January or anything like that at all, but I've been with PA Scotland for quite a long while now. And for me, they told me about the whole vetting process. "Oh, we would like you to be a fully vetted member within PA Scotland. Would you mind if we can come and visit you, for the vetting process and all of that?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" So it was a Cyborg and another gentleman who I know, again, not going to say their names just for privacy's sake. They came along, they came to visit, talked about the whole vetting process and all of that. You become the fully vetted member of PA. To which I had no problem with that whatsoever, because for me, I had nothing to hide or anything like that at all. I was completely for PA, completely agreed with their manifesto and their policies and all of that. I fully supported the people who were already members there anyway, so I thought, right, this sounds like a group of people I definitely want to be a part of anyway, so the vetting process makes a lot of sense, and I can understand why it would definitely be done. So that's fine. Well, I went ahead with that. So gave him my ID and all of that, well, passport and all of this and that, and that was all done and dusted. And we're like, right, that's all been done. We'll message you once it's all been fully completed. And I think maybe a week or two afterwards, I think, maybe even longer than that, but I basically get the message saying like, "Oh, that's you fully vetted in because you're part of the community page and whatnot." And I was like, "Oh, cool!" Because of course, for those that don't know, there's like I think there's a couple of channels when it comes to like certain regional groups. So you've got general chat, and you also got a community chat. General chat is basically for members who are fully vetted and not fully vetted, but they're still somewhat members of the community anyway. But then also you've got the community page, which is for fully vetted members. Of course, I'm sure people may know this already, because I'm sure PA are not the only group that does this anyway. I'm sure other political groups does this as well. But it's just so that people know exactly like which is which, that kind of thing. So when I found out about that, I'm like, wait, so that's me fully vetted. I'm actually officially part of PA after that, and they're like, well, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, sweet. So I was really happy with that. So, but definitely, I would say, please get involved with PA or anyone like that, and also try and build community and be the change that you really want to see with that. Be the change you really want to see. I definitely would recommend that. Anyway, I think I've rambled on a lot of when it comes to the PA Scotland conference yesterday. Cannot wait for next year, but all of that. I think it's probably best, since we're almost an hour in, probably a good idea to move on to the next topic, which I really don't know what we could possibly talk about, because I don't think there's really been much news that been coming out anyway with that, so I don't know really what else to talk about. Sorry. Hold on one second. Ian Marr. Sorry, folks. Fleeting visit. Need to go to then Chippy. Sunday treat for the old man. Later, Gingers. No worries, Ian Marr. Thank you very much, and enjoy your Chippy. So, really good to see. Really good to see. I haven't had a Chippy in a long while, actually. If I were to have a Chippy tonight, or even throughout the week, I probably would get like a haggis supper, because I see. This is just a question I'd like to ask for some English viewers who may be watching. But see, your chippies, right? I know that you don't call them really chippies. I think it's all to do with like a country thing or a regional thing. But up here in Scotland, we call fish and chips places, or like you call them chippies and whatnot. I don't know if it's the same in some parts in England and whatnot, or even in Wales for that matter, or even in Ireland for that matter, for that fact. But and I know maybe this is only just a Scottish thing, but when it comes to chippies or fish and chips places, do any of any places in England sell or serve a haggis supper or anything like that at all? Because whenever I go to a chippy or like a fish and chips place, I always just get a haggis supper. That's like my go-to thing I usually have. So so anyway, Ian Marr, haggis supper read my mind, Chief Moody. Excellent. That's good to see. We do call them chippies down south, Chief. All right, that's good. I thought that was just a Scottish thing with that, but no, that's fine. Excellent. Colin Gibson, what are your views on all the junkies roaming about the streets? Have you ever had trouble with any? I did a few days ago. I'm to be honest with you about that. I'm quite mixed up on that. On one hand, I do have a bit of sympathy for some junkies, because I know that they've had like some hardships and all of that, and they're going through a really tough time at the moment. But On the other hand, there's an argument to be made that, well, they kind of put themselves in that predicament to begin with. I mean, and if the only person in their lives, if I actually don't know if I may have talked about this before, but the only person in their lives to get them out of that would be themselves. They're the only people that can actually get them out of that predicament and hopefully rebuild their lives if they can. So, but yeah, so as I said, I'm quite in the middle of that. So hopefully that may answer your question, Colin. But I'm very in the middle of that. On one hand, I do have some sympathies for some junkies, with that, but at the end of the day, they do put themselves in that predicament, and it's like, well, you can't expect people to pull you out with that, help you out with that. Maybe there's an argument to be made that they need to be helped out with that, but ultimately speaking, they themselves need to help themselves to get out with that. But that's all I have to say with that. So. There's also some people answering when it comes to this here. Oh yeah, I've read that one already. Haggis, you've read my mind. Nope. Get out with it, Chief Moody. Chief Moody, call the chippy in London. No haggis though. Fair enough. All right. So we do call chippy in London, right? But no haggis. That's totally fine. Yes, my local chippy sells haggis, the batter like a sausage. Nice. That sounds really good. Chippies in Lincolnshire. There we go. Never seen it. Not in England, mate. Haggis is a local delicacy. We have battered Mars bars here. All right. Again, I thought with the whole battered Mars bars, I thought that would be just only like a Scottish thing also. But if it's in England as well, or even other parts of the UK, then all right, that's fair enough. But you know what? I've never actually tried a deep fried Mars bar. And I was thinking, if I were to have another chippy at some point, I wonder if I can maybe give that a try as well, because I've always been meaning to give that a try, but I've heard it's been very mixed with people. Some people absolutely love it and thought, oh, a deep fried Mars bar is absolutely fantastic. And then there's the other side of people that say, who've tried it, but then say, no, don't bother. It's absolutely disgusting. Even just the idea of having a deep fried Mars bar is just, no, I would not be a fan of that whatsoever. So, dear. We have Cornish pasties, which are lovely. All right, I guess that must, again, maybe to do with a regional thing, but again, might be wrong on that. But I've never actually seen that Cornish pasties where I live in terms of like nearby chip shops or anything like that. Chippies or chip shop, never seen a haggis supper though. All right, fair enough. But it is nice though, it is very nice. No haggis in the southeast, just yesterday's chips low. All right, that's fine. Chippy is used in Ireland too. Some amazing places over there, like really fresh fish. That's really good to hear. I maybe had a fish supper maybe one time in the past, like a long time ago, but I've only have haggis on Burns night down here in the south. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. The Last of Us, it's called a chippy all over the UK. All right, that's fair. I've never seen St. Haggis in any English chippy I've been in. All right. Maybe it's just to do with like some places in England or all across the UK. Some people do it, but then others, again, all to do with like delicacy and whatnot. Some people don't do it whatsoever. So just really depends on where you go to. They call it the chipper on the East Coast. All right. And also, thank you very much for watching the show, Budgie Burger. Really appreciate you being here. It's good to hear. We get haggis up here in the northeast, right? Deep fried Mars bar, dear God, really? Yeah, it's quite. I wouldn't say it's popular up here, but I have spoken to people who have tried it before, and as I said, it's very split or very in the middle. Some people love it, but then some people really hate it and think it's a complete mistake on delicacy or anything like that. A deep fried Mars, they think a deep fried Mars bar should never have existed whatsoever. So there we go. What? Who else? Who else? Typo there. Deep fried Mars. Okay. Deep fried Mars bar is a national embarrassment. There we go. any non-white chippy should be boycotted. Well, that's fair enough. In fact, I know some places where I live, in terms of like chippies or anything like that, they're very Italian-owned places regarding to that. But I don't know if that's also the same across the UK. Like some chippies are very Italian-owned, or they're very British-owned. But from where I live, they're very Italian-owned, that kind of thing. Which I didn't think that would be like an actual type of fast food place that the Italians would be really into, but there we go. So that's really interesting to see. The deep fried Mars bar was the worst thing ever to have emerged from Scotland. Every moron from abroad talks about it and thinks we all eat it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Don't like Mars bar in any form. All right, that's fair enough. The best chippies are in Sea Houses, Northumbria. I've heard about that before. I don't know where exactly I've heard it, but I remember someone telling me that before, that, if you go to this place in Northumbria, it's absolutely fantastic over there. A lot of fresh stuff there, so that's good to hear. Big one in Ireland is the burgers smothered in mushroom sauce. Absolutely gorgeous. Never know you can actually get that, but that sounds pretty appetizing. Well, to be fair, I'm not really a fan of mushroom to begin with, but then again, my opinion on that could possibly change, but we'll definitely see. Every old native-owned chippy eventually becomes a kebab shop. Yeah, it's a sad fact of reality, but that's basically the gist of it with that. The chippies to avoid are the ones that sell kebabs. They are, I can understand that, definitely. Well, thankfully, though, the chippies that near where I live don't sell kebab meat or anything like that. So, like I said, they're very Italian-owned places anyway. So I guess places like chippies like that are definitely A-OK. But then again, they are to do with like fast food. So I don't obviously recommend eating a lot of fast food and all of that. Of course, embrace the idea of more of a healthy lifestyle and all of that. But you have to have a cheat day maybe once a week or once a month, depending on how you want to do it with that. So, but there you go. Is there any comment I've missed out for this whatsoever? Because I was going to say, guys, as I said, I don't really have any other topics to talk about tonight because, again, I had a pretty busy weekend. And, well, not just a busy weekend, but a pretty busy week for that matter. So I would ask, if you have a question you'd like to ask me for the stream, then just feel free to ask me and I'll answer it. So I'll even also say, if it's a question for me, just put at Chief Moody and then put your question there if you want to in the chat. And then, like I said, I'll answer it for you. So, the European Housewife, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching the stream. Don't know if it's your first time watching the stream, but hey, I appreciate you being here with that. So that's really good to see you with that. Deep fried Mars is amazing. Well, there we go. We got Hightower who loves it, and someone else earlier on, I think it was Exile Viking, I think that said it. Absolutely detest deep fried Mars bar. So, like I said, it is a very mixed opinion on that. Some people love it, others absolutely hate it. But I can't really make an opinion on that because I've never tried it myself anyway. But again, maybe one day I can have a try and see from there. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Hastings Beach fish and chips and paper. Oh, so like old school typically. The other big one in Ireland is the breakfast roll. A full breakfast in a roll. All the builders / construction lads go for it. I can understand that. Yeah, if it's got like literally everything on it, that would be something to have, especially if it's just like a breakfast type of thing. Colin Gibson, since the debate with Sticks, have you debated anyone else or at least thought of it? I've not had another debate with anyone else, although it is something that I really have been thinking about for a while. I don't know if it's another debate with Sticks, but I definitely am open for another debate some point in the future. I really don't know who else it would be, though. Whether it be like a leftist or maybe like a Sipnat for that matter, but we'll definitely see. Although that being said, I don't know if he's actually watching the stream just now, but we all remember Quick Sticks, as Colin mentioned, censored debate with Sticks. He has been kind of messaging me like a couple of times, like for the past few weeks and whatnot. He asked me to come on a stream very late at night. I think it was around about 11 or 12 o'clock-ish, maybe 1-ish in the morning. Of course, I was in bed at that point, obviously getting ready for work the next following morning. And I looked at the message on Twitter and I'm just thinking, okay, first of all, why this late at night when you should be in bed resting for work or anything like that at all? And second of all, why would you have to be on your stream when you've once said to me you would never share a platform with a Nazi? But there we go. I guess his opinion changes when it's convenient, I don't, or something like that. But there you go with that. So and there was another message he sent me fairly recently. He was showcasing like a video. Actually, what video was it? 1 second, because it was talked about in one of the Telegram chats I'm in as well. And that video, I don't know if this is a fairly recent video, but it's the one he showcased to me the message, and he was like, "Oh, like ethno nationalism has been completely debunked and all of that, blah blah blah." So, what do you think about this? The video in question is called "The Great White Lie." I'm not entirely too sure if any of you may have seen or heard about this video, but this is what he calls it as a video that's supposed to debunk everything to do with ethno-nationalism and why it's all BS in his opinion. In fact, even he says after that, more white nationalist BS debunked. I'll put it I'll put the link in the chat as well, just for you guys to have a look for yourselves. Paste it here. There we go. So the video is called "The Great White Lie." Are you a Nazi? Yes, and question mark. Only way to deal with it. Yeah. So, but no, it's just so funny that he once said that to me regarding to that. But in terms of, I would never share a platform with such a person. But then he completely contradicts himself with something like, it's not you, the person, I don't like. It's your ideas. I cannot stand it with that. But it's like, right, okay, I don't buy that for a minute. But okay, fair enough. Let me have a look here and see what else. But other than that, I wouldn't be surprised if there may be like another debate that comes up with Sticks. I don't know if he would do that, but we'll definitely see. Even if it's not with Quick Sticks, for round 2 or Quick Sticks versus Chief Moody 2 or anything like that. But if it's going to be like another person, I really don't know. Although I am open to having another debate with someone. It'd be anyone for that matter. Again, Civnat or like a leftist type of person or anything like that at all. And even with this new book I got, Hammer of the Patriot, I would say this could really come in handy for like future rebuttals or arguments that would be made within a debate and whatnot. So definitely would have a look into that. Dragon Energy, Chief Moody, how's the morale with PA? It's good, I would say, definitely good. I would definitely say everyone does get along with everybody. I mean, hell, I pretty much get along with everyone there anyway. So there's a lot of people who've made friendships out of being part of like PA and all of that. And then of course see from there. Hold on 1 second. 1 sec. Oh, yes. No, that's fine. Sorry, I just have a quick read through a message on my phone. Sorry about that. I just have to read through that. But yes, sorry, excuse me. In terms of the morale with PA, I would definitely say it's very good stuff, especially with PA Scotland. Everyone trusts each other. Everyone's very loyal to each other. We have everyone has each other's backs, and we're all there for each other. If something happens to any one of us, say, fallen ill or something major happens with the police or anything like that, we always have each other's backs with that. And again, another prime example of why people should join PA regarding to that, because everyone's morale when it comes to that is absolutely top notch regarding to that. Everyone sticks by their principles as well with that. So really, I'm proud of that. Any other questions to ask here? Construction lads need fuel to build the homes of the replacements. Oh, geez, yeah, I can see that. Most chippies around here to sell kebabs. Yeah, it's just really bad, that stuff, kebabs and all of that. it's actually really shameful that they definitely do that for making all these new homes for these new migrants coming into the country, especially the Afghanis and all of that. But it'd be very difficult to do, as most are now a chip shop slash doner kebab shops and staffed by you know who, the Papa Alpha Kilo Oscar crowd. Hold on one second here. Ah, right, okay, that's fine. I thought. All right, okay, that's fine. Okay, no worries. Just something that kind of came to my mind there, but I thought, well, no, wait a minute. Oh, no, that's fine. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let me see. Denny Lambia, hello. I don't know if I had you before on the show, but thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and give the stream a like. If you don't mind, I'd be much appreciated. My American friends and I experimented with various chocolate candy bars and a deep fryer, and the results were amazing. Mars was the best. Well, there you go. Another person who loves a deep fried Mars bar. That's really good. Lovely Chippy in Keswick. Well, there we go. Excellent. Rigamortis. Hello, Rigamortis. How you doing? Chief Rudy, will the PA conferences be uploaded at any point? That's actually a pretty good question because I don't know too much about that. What I will say on that was with PA Scotland, there was a photo of some of the people who've taken their speeches taken regarding to that. Of course, both Steve Blake and Jody were in it. I think even Kenny was also in the photo as well. So it's kind of stuff like that. I don't know if there's going to be video footage or audio recordings of the speeches being presented, but it's a case for that. Just waiting to see. Though when I say that, don't be surprised if they don't get published or anything like that. Obviously, due to like not a lot of them are like public figures and all of that, which of course is very understandable. They don't want any of themselves be out there again, just for privacy sake and whatnot. But I don't know if they would come out with anything like that at all. But again, don't be surprised if they don't come out with that. I think really with that rigor mortis is a case of just wait and see, and then we'll see if something comes out with that. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. Let me see from here. Just go with that. From RW, at Chief Moody, invite Soygon on the stream. It's a good shout in terms of like future debates. I don't see, that's the funny thing with that. When it comes to Sargon, I don't know if maybe I would be the ideal person to debate Sargon. I think the best person to debate Sargon, when it's someone from our circles, I think it's someone like Mark Collette, maybe Laura Taylor should be up with it, maybe Sam if he's up for it, Morgoth, or who else? Maybe James Goddard. That would be pretty an interesting debate with that. Sorry, excuse me, between him and Sargon, like any future debate and whatnot. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind debating Sargon, but it's just I've seen. Well, I'm sure everyone has seen the previous debates he had with Richard Spencer and Andrew Anglin. He was supposed to have a debate with Mark Collette. I think it was early last year, if I'm not mistaken. And it was definitely going to happen. And then on the day of the debate, Sargon pulled out for whatever reason that may be, something to do with like family issues, or he couldn't be able to do the debate or anything like that. But it just kind of comes off as a very cowardly move. It's almost like as if he knew exactly what happened with the previous debates with, like I said, with Richard Spencer and Andrew Anglin in the past. I guess he worried that the same result will happen again. Like he just doesn't want to be proven wrong, especially if it's a debate with Mark Collett. But no, at the end of the day, if that option is open, I would be very happy to take it. Although that being said, when it comes to that crowd of internet politics and whatnot, I actually have been thinking about this for a while, and I don't know if this would ever happen or occur. But if there's one person on the SIFNAT /skeptic /anti-SJW crowd I would love to debate, that would be Count Dankula. No, I'm sure Count Dankula, and I may have spoken to maybe like one time in a debate, not debate, sorry, in a stream on Tail Features channel in the past, but I'm sure he may be like a relatively friendly guy. But if there's someone from that crowd that I think would be a very interesting debate with in terms of civic nationalism or libertarianism versus ethno nationalism with anything like that, I would definitely would love to debate Count Dankula. Again, that may be a case of like what's that old saying, like a pipe dream, if you will. So I don't know if it will happen, but if it does happen, that would be pretty awesome. So, but there we go. Let's see. Exile Viking. That crowds own the chip shops around my area. They are kebab / donor burger too, which means all halal. Yeah, I know. Halal it's. I think even like a lot of the big retailer shops are also doing halal meat as well, like Tesco's and whatnot. No. Let's see. Chief Moody, what are your thoughts on how the prison system is run? I read a story where Rose West won a contest in prison for baking cakes. What has the world come to? See, yeah, that's. I think the prison system is becoming is more like a care home for a lot of these criminals. Because even what I've read in the past, there was like, I don't know if it was in the Daily Record or anything like that at all, but I remember there was one story they talked about where they had some cells where, so for some of the criminals, they had like all these flat screen TVs, they had games consoles, whether it be a PS4 or an Xbox or anything like that. They have their own separate bathrooms, not bathrooms, but like toilets, sinks and whatnot. And it's just like it looks like a fucking like summer house type of thing, or like a very small contained, summer house or pod, whatever those things are called. Like it's not. It doesn't really look anything like a prison cell or anything like that, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, I think at that point it's definitely becoming a lot more softer when it comes to that. Although there was something I've also read when it comes to smoking. Now I don't know if it's happened all across the UK, but what I do know is the majority of prisons in Scotland, they do not have the prisoners allow them to smoke anymore. So even if it's just like in their spare time or anything like that, or even like a smoke break, they're not allowed to do that anymore. Now I don't know if it's just in Scotland or if it's happening all across the UK, but there we go. So there we go. Just have to look through the messages again, or the chat as well. Just seeing with that. Let me see here. I'm going to read through them bit by bit. Let's see here. What am I up to? There's a lot of coming through with that. But sorry, I'm just having a look through with that. Roy Herbert, hold on one sec. Chief Woody, do you enjoy black pudding? Simon Howie Foods near Perth do a good one. Yes, I do enjoy black pudding. In fact, even when I was I might even talked about this before. When I was at work, but the job I was at the time, it was like this van that would pull up and they would hand out, well, not hand out, but they would serve specific foods for your lunch break, whether it be rolls or small containers like chicken curries and all of that. Really good stuff. What I normally get there, I'm pretty sure I talked about this before, but what I would normally get there is a can of Rockstar, of course, for energy purposes, a Twix bar, packet of cheese and onion Walker's crisps, and finally the main course, as I call it, is a roll of a roll and square sausage with haggis and with brown sauce in it, which is, and sometimes maybe a tatty scone within it as well, which is, in my opinion, amazing. But even then, if they don't have haggis, if it's run out or anything like that, the replacement for the haggis would be black pudding, which is equally as amazing as that as well. So yes, Rory, I would say it's not my favorite food of all time, but I would definitely say that if I were to have like a morning breakfast or like an English breakfast or anything like that, I would definitely have black pudding with the stuff with it, and also haggis as well, if I can. That is with regard to that. There's only one thing during an English breakfast. Well, actually, a couple things. I don't like mushrooms, but that's just me. Although I definitely should try mushroom a lot more. But there's one type of food regarding to the English breakfast I really do not like. It's baked beans. Now I know some people might think of that as like blasphemy because that's like an essential part of an English breakfast or any type of breakfast like that whatsoever. But for me, I can't stand baked beans. I just don't like them whatsoever. But that's just me regarding to that. So again, maybe blasphemous to say, but there you go. So, and also Steve Cray, I've got to go. Take care, all community or love community. No worries, Steve Cray. Thank you very much for watching the show. Really appreciate you being here. Exile Viking. Everyone should use the photonic alphabet when talking about un-PC matters. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, the left throw buzzwords around like crazy, never apologize. That's all I'm saying. No, it's definitely true at Dragon Energy. Not only do they throw all kinds of very gay buzzwords all the time, but it's definitely true. Never apologize to them whatsoever. Because the whole point of them wanting you to apologize, and you do apologize, is all that power play. They just want you to apologize so that, okay, we got him to or them to apologize. Let's see if we can do it to this person, but maybe worse for that matter, you know. But yeah, never apologize, because if you apologize, you basically cave into the enemy at that point. You cave into the enemy after that. The Last of Us, again, we are not hostile enough. We don't do enough to make the invaders uncomfortable. Roy Herbert, Chief Woody Dune. Oh, sorry, I read that one already. Sorry, my bad. Budgie Burger. Danny Lambia, that's how it started. Experimenting with deep frying all types of confectionery. The Mars bar was the most popular. Fair enough with that. That's how it all started. Excellent. That was a really fun evening. That's good. Good to hear, Moody. Sounds fab. Just looking out for each other. No, that's good. Definitely. Community, we strengthen each other. We definitely do that, English Rose. We definitely do strengthen each other with that. It's really good stuff to hear with that. Take care, guys. Good show, Chief. Thank you very much for being here, Felix. Thank you very much. Let's see. From Dragon Energy. Ireland went a bit mental. Immigrants building homes for immigrants went utterly bonkers. Crazy that. Very crazy that. You ever seen the videos of these kebab places on Facebook? The classic munchie box, which equates to Costco frozen shite. Deep fried and covered in fake doner. All the folk tagging their mates. Oh, that's just like part 1 of 2, saying it's great. Which is absolutely fucking gross. Yeah, like it's not exactly appetizing. Because I remember I had a munchie box like a couple years back, because it was something that I used to have quite a lot back in the day. But I thought, well, I've not had this in a while, and you know, I was also with a group of mates at the time. Let's have a munchie box together. So we have it. It has like doner meat, which of course was halal. You know, chips there. It had some vegetable pakora, chicken pakora. This seems to be like a food theme episode. I'm actually starting to think now, but no, like, it had a lot of like naan bread and all of that. Maybe it had some onion rings with there as well. It had some mushroom pakora there as well, and there was like it was a lot of fattening when it comes to that. Very, very fattening, especially with some like what do they call it? The not fat sauce, but what exactly is it called? You know what I want? Like the grease off of it alone was just, it was really off-putting when it comes to that. Really do not recommend it whatsoever. Would be nice to hear the speeches, even if audio only. Looking forward to it. No, I definitely agree. That is, sorry again. My apologies for that. Even again, if they're fine with that in terms of like maybe audio only, that should be all right. I know some people will do like a video thing, like Jody would be up for doing video and all of that in terms of the speeches given out, and also Steve Blake. I'm sure Steve Blake wouldn't mind that, or maybe audio for that matter. But if it would be audio only, again, that would be ideal when it comes to that. So let me see. Woes has debated him many times. There we go. Write him a letter, Chief. Yeah, dear Sargon, or dear Carl Benjamin, would you please engage with me in a debate of why you're wrong and why ethno-nationalism is the way forward? Yours truly, Chief Moody. Yeah, that whole meme. I don't get I don't get Sargon at this stage either. It's staring him in the bloody face. Well, that's the thing with these people. I've made this point many times before on the show that these Sipnas are always trying to be the gatekeepers within the conservative movement. These people are not really conservatives, but they don't want our ideas going out to the main general public because they know for a fact that it's popular. They know for a fact that people are picking up not just like ethno-nationalism, but just really the true case of nationalism in general. They're picking up on it, and then they're like, oh, we can't exactly have this going on. Because if you remember the old debates Sargon had with Spencer and Andrew Anglin, there will always be these points that Sargon would make. Well, if you have these people leave the country, you're basically what's the phrase he said? It was you'll basically have them. You're violating their individual rights or something like that. It's like Sargon, these people don't belong in this country, nor do they want to integrate into this country. What makes you think that they're going to? I mean, you really think that they give a damn about like civil rights? Like they'll just wipe their arse with that. It's just it's so ridiculous. This whole idea of. These people have individual rights. You can't have them leave here. It's like, well, no, hold on a minute here. What gives you the right to tell somebody if they want to leave, they can't leave? If they want to leave the country, they should have that right to leave the country. This whole it's all to do with individual rights. Fuck off. It's nothing to do with that. He damn well knows that. What do you think of how the prison system is run? Because Rose West won the contest on the. Oh, I think I've answered that already. Sorry. I think I've already answered that question. Sorry about that. Sargon doesn't believe his own shit. Well, see, that's the thing with Sargon, and this is just a slight mini rant. I've ranted about Sargon in the past many times, but he's just a guy who doesn't really believe anything. He's just someone who's in the community for his fame, for his ego, and for the shekels. Those are the only reasons he's doing this to begin with. He doesn't really care about anything. If he really does care about the future of this country and actually being a proper nationalist, he actually would do something about it. But then again, he just makes these same tired excuse videos, especially on his new channel. He's doing the Lotus Eaters podcast with some other guys he's working with, and it's just you watch them, and it's the same shit over and over and over again. This whole, oh, look how cringy and gay these SJWs are. Look how abhorrent these leftists are. And it's like, Sargon, we know this. And at this point on, nobody takes them seriously anymore. Like, when it comes to SJWs and the left, right, there's really no point of really going into that anymore, because at this point, nobody takes them seriously. They're done. They're finished. But Sargon and everyone from his camp seem to think that this is a popular trend that needs to be talked about. And it's like, look, that whole grace period is done. It's over. Nobody takes him seriously anymore. And I think what's important here is that we focus on the real enemy here. The real enemy here, who I think are really pulling the strings of really making changes within the country. I think we all know exactly who that type of people who are really doing all this stuff to begin with. But anyway, that's being said. Yeah, just goes along with it for the shacks. Exactly. Millennial Rose is a good speech maker. I may have seen a couple of speeches he did in the past, and from what I've seen, is a pretty good speech maker or speecher as well. So that's really good to see. I can't stand Sargon. His camp voice really irritates me. Well, you know what does irritate me from Sargon is that laugh he does. You know, the whole smug laugh that he always does to make a point that he's right, and it's like, Sargon. It doesn't mean that you're right. That this whole laugh you're doing is just completely not just obnoxious, but it just makes you sound like as if like you think you're in the right and you're not. You're just making yourself look like an even bigger douchebag. But anyway, I'd watch that debate, Chief Moody. That would be epic. Yeah. But again, hopefully that day would come in the future. I don't know if it would, but Dankula would be a bit of a laugh. I like his humor. Yeah, it would be a bit of a laugh, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Dankula seems to have stepped away from the debate side of things since he either got wrecked or went after low-hanging fruit. Well, I don't know. So, I don't know if you would count these as debates, but do you remember those videos he did where he talked to what's the guy's name? It was like a leftist guy, like I think Bowler Hat Man or something like that, or as Dankula calls him, Peanut. I don't know if they would be counted as debates. I think they were just general discussions about what they've been doing behind the scenes and all of that. But but there we go. You need to go to a butcher if you want to not eat halal. Yeah, exactly. Like an actual proper butcher, like a local place to go to, which I definitely would recommend that, folks. Definitely go and into your local shops and whatnot. Not always go to the big supermarket brands. Definitely do support your local brands, like local shops and whatnot. Sorry, excuse me. They put the tiny H on the food packaging for that dirty shit. Yeah, exactly. In Count Dankula's case, he's a bit milquetoast in my opinion. Fair enough, but his Mad Lad series is entertaining though. They actually are very entertaining. I was even saying to one of the guys at the conference yesterday when we were talking about Dankula for a bit, my favorite Mad Lad video I've seen of his, I think, is probably arguably the best one he's done, in my opinion, is the Chopper video. It's the one where he talks about a guy named Chopper from Australia, who was like a career criminal, but only is like also a murderer, but he kills other criminals and whatnot. I think there was also a film made about him back in 2000 that starred Eric Bana. I think don't quote me on that, but I think it's Eric Bana if I'm not mistaken. But I would definitely say out of all the Mad Lads he'd done, that was probably the best one in my opinion. But that's just me. I heard that Lidl's didn't do halal. Don't know if that's true though. I don't normally shop in Lidl's, so I can't really say for certain. Although it would be interesting to see if they did sell halal meat or anything like that. But then again, might be a British-owned place. I doubt it. But then again, because of how PC everything is nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised if they would sell halal meat there. So you're better off being a criminal than a homeless war veteran. Yeah, to do with the prison question. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I can kind of see that, especially if you're homeless, then it's a lot rougher when it comes to that. You have no place to go to whatsoever. Is it just absolutely a shame that something like the prison system seemed to give criminals a lot more, despite the fact all that stuff that they're doing for the criminals, we could easily get that done for our own homeless people with that. Let me see here. Where was I? Just have a look and see the last message I was on. I think there's been a lot of people messaging about this as well, regarding to that. Oh my God, where was I? Last message I was on. Yeah, like I said, there I was. Yeah, there we go. Next one here from Turbo Duckhead. Don't forget kosher food too. Both halal and kosher are inhumane. Yeah, exactly. Definitely exactly that. So definitely, if you ever go out to a local shop or a supermarket or anything like that, if you're buying meat or anything like that at all, definitely do check to see if there's any halal or kosher meat within it. And if they do have it, don't buy it. Always support your own meat. Your own meat being meat that's actually from like actually non-halal, non-kosher sort of thing with that. So Dank's material has gone a bit scripted to appease his gaming sponsors. Understandable with a family to support. Yeah, I can understand that, because of course there's also another point I talked to the guy yesterday during the conference, that I can understand him not being like milquetoast, but not going overboard, to say the least. Especially now that he's married with Sue, or being his wife. He has a daughter now to look after. He does have a family to look after and support. So that part, I can understand that perspective, especially ever since what happened to Dankula. Obviously, he can no longer work anymore. So it's like, well, that part, I can understand that completely with that. So To be honest, I'd rather soft prisons but bring back the death penalty. I can see that. I can definitely see that. The death penalty, I can understand, especially for people who've done very horrific crimes in the past. Shetland black pudding is the best. I don't know if I tried Shetland black pudding, but I've heard it's meant to be pretty good. Soft prisons equal, hey, we are humane, but by God, will you get the death penalty for certain crimes? I'd be okay with that. Yeah, again, that's totally fair point. I would definitely agree with that. John D. Hello, John D. I don't know if I've seen you before, but if you're new here, thank you very much for watching the show, and please subscribe to the channel and like the stream if you haven't done so already. It'll be much appreciated. Eat a cake that Rose West made, then get a prescription of Harold Shipman. Oh dear. Chief Woody, we get square sausage down here now too. Oh, that's good. That's really good to hear, especially down in England. That's good. Or is it Wales? I think it's in England, but no, that's definitely good stuff to hear. Foreigners regard our prisons as holiday camps, exactly, and playgrounds. It's a fun pact to them. Well, not only just that, but what I've heard a few years back, they're also recruitment centers for Muslim extremists. So not only is it considered to be a holiday camp and playgrounds for these types of people, but they would definitely see these prisons as a recruitment center for like future terrorism acts and whatnot. Black pudding is nice. There we go. It definitely is nice. Stornoway black pudding is god tier. Never tried it, but hopefully, if I'm in Stornoway in the future, I can maybe try it from there. Hardly a cube. That's me back. Oh, that was good. Well, thanks for you to be back, Ian. I really appreciate that. A pudding of color, pudding of color, because it's a black pudding. Baked beans, hate them too. Just can't eat them either. Yeah. Oh, baked beans are the best. I do a full 10. Well, that's fair enough, James. If you like baked beans, that's fair enough on you with that. I just personally cannot stand baked beans when it comes to that. So, minority pudding, baked beans and cheese. Nah, I'm sorry, that doesn't sound appetizing to me whatsoever. But that's just me with that. I can't eat baked beans and fried egg on the same plate. I can't stand when the yolk and sauce from the beans mixes turns me off. Yeah, I can't do that. Chief Woody separated at birth. I hate baked beans too. Spaghetti hoops all the way. Beans are the food of the devil. Fair enough. US style baked beans are delicious. I'm sure maybe baked beans are maybe entirely different across the world, especially in America. But if the American version are better, then we'll see. Cold beans out of a 10. Nah, sorry, not. I don't like beans if they're hot or cold, or baked beans if they're hot or cold. But beans and masalas with pork. No. Sorry. Will they still call the foreigners minorities even when they're the majority now, like in London and many other cities, or many other cities? And when white people are the world's minorities, I would be surprised. Well, no, not would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the terms would be switched, so that the current minorities would be the majority and all of that. Being called the British and whatnot, whereas the actual native British, the majority currently speaking, will become a minority, and then will be completely erased from history and all of that, which I really don't want that to happen either way. So, are you a racist? Never cave in. Never once you say no, they've got you. Exactly. Beans on toast is heaven. Fair enough. Skinheads on the raft. Munchie Box will give you. Oh God, Munchie Box will give you an Ebola. Oh dear. Rate my takeaway. Europeans are the minority. Let's see. Dragon Energy mushroom sauce on a burger is so yummy. Irish chippies make it. There was actually something I forgot to mention. Just one last piece of like a short story regarding to the conference yesterday. When I met Jody yesterday, I think it was Cyborg that kind of introduced me to Jody, because I was like, oh, so where's Jody? And I think she was sitting at the table across from where I was sitting. And then Cyborg was like, oh, by the way, that like Chief Woody's here. And I think Jody misheard Cyborg and thought he said Chief Media. And Cyborg was like, no, like Chief Moody. And Jody was like, oh, Chief Moody. Oh, it's actually there, Chief Media. Another piece of story to tell is that Kenny, when it comes to speeches being made, so there was like some of the guys did 10-minute speeches, some of the guys did 20-minute speeches, and I think there was a couple people that did 40-minute speeches and all of that. And Kenny asked me to be the one to basically look after the times and all of that, which I think I did okay with that. But there came a point where I was just like, I think they're about fishing up. Fuck it. I'll let them fish off and say their pieces and whatnot. I think, sorry, excuse me. I think it was, funny enough, I think it was Jodie's speech that I think went overboard when it comes to time, because her speech was meant to be 20 minutes. But then it was about, I think it was actually went on to about 30 or 31 minutes. And the reason for that being was because her speech, like all the other speeches, was like so good to the point where I was just like, just too busy listening in and just paying attention to her speech and all of that. I think even at some point, Cyborg looked at me and was just like, yeah, hand gestures as a way just to let her know, hey, we need to kind of stop and all of that. I tried to do what the camera crews for like films of TV, or even if it's going live. There's like a camera guy or someone doing timekeeping would do like something with their neck where indicating to the people speaking like, okay, like stop, but we need to kind of move on, sort of thing. I don't think she's seen it, but she just kind of kept on going with it. She was just like, fuck it, just let them finish it, and then that would be it. But no, it was good nonetheless when it comes to that. So it's all good nonetheless. Anyway, sorry. I'll continue on with the chat, and then I think we're about almost 15 minutes away to finishing anyway. So, but we'll see from there. So, Sargon knows. He definitely knows. As Sargon, Sargon still thinks Trump is based. He's become somewhat out of touch. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Sifnas are liberals who hate Muslims. Yeah, that's a classic trope. That's very true. They're basically liberals they're liberals who hate Muslims, or if it's not that, they're liberals who basically don't like political correctness and don't want people treading on their degeneracy and all of that, or their individual liberties and whatnot, any type of gay shit like that. Return to normality, which is ethnic nationalism, it's the default for all nations. Exactly. Exactly that. In Holland, you can get peanut butter sauce and chips. Really nice. Must be like a special type of delicacy in Holland, but there we go. We're starting to notice like being in parts of London where there's no English. Exactly that. The Last of Us again, they would kick Sargon out of their country in a heartbeat. Exactly that. But for some reason, when it comes to this country, it's like, no, we must protect their civil liberties. It's like, okay, whatever, Sargon. In Sargon's case, it'll have to be a personal outrage to his wife and daughters before he wakes up. Yeah, I can see that. Sargon, well, not just Sargon, but Sargon is a nihilist, doesn't believe in anything. Well, not just Sargon, all these types of people, Sifnats and whatnot, are all pretty much nihilists, or they're not doomers. What's the other term people used? It's not just a nihilist. There's another word people tend to describe them with that. Not idealist. That's the opposite of that. But basically, they believe like, oh, never mind like the future. What's important is now the present and all of that. I should be focusing on that. Like, fuck the future. The future can be whatever the case may be. And so on and so forth. And those people, I cannot stand for the life of me with that. Steve Double M, thank you very much for watching. If our points were not correct, they would not need to try so hard to silence us. Exactly that. Well, not even just that, but kind of going back to the Sifnats and all, and the leftists and Sargon and all of that. If these are people who think that our opinions are so abhorrent, so easily to defeat and all of that with during debates and whatnot, then you think it would be easy for them to come into a debate and refute us. You think that, but of course, no, of course not. They would never, ever do anything like that. Chief Moody, this is from RW. Chief Moody, have seen the latest Google ads, apparently saying Wagwan jog greeting to a jogger is deemed racist. Me and my mates were dying of laughter when it comes on the TV. All right, I've not seen or heard of that. Let me have a look and see. Maybe it's something like that with YouTube. I don't know if it's maybe on YouTube or whatnot, but let me have a quick look. One. And also 62 people watching the stream as well. This is really good to see. Thank you very much. And also, please keep hitting that like button as well. Right. Don't see anything like this on YouTube, but I'll see if I can find it later and then, of course, see from there, of course. Let me see. The truth is on our side. Indeed it is, Steve. Indeed it is. Is lucrative to be struck at feminism, to be stuck at feminism bad? Yeah, indeed. Sargon trademark contrived laugh. Yeah, exactly. We have the truth and the stiffness are terrified of it. Exactly that. I buy all my meat from the family butchers. Yeah, well, if that's the case, please keep doing that. Definitely support your local branch. I was asked the other day if I spoke English. The guy wanted directions but couldn't find an English speaker. That's really strange, that. I saw a post where Sweden and other various countries where they have banned no-stun slaughter. Would be nice to stop that here too and ban imported non-stun produce. Exactly. Yeah, I would definitely like to see that. It's good to see countries like Sweden and all those countries are banning that, which is pretty surprising considering one of them is Sweden, which last time I checked, a lot of people were calling it Swedenistan, but there we go. Got a local butcher that dates back to 1850. Family farm, definitely not halal. Absolutely top class product. Tastes so good. Locally sourced, excellent. They keep shopping at that branch, Dragon Energy. Definitely do support them any way you can. Let me see here. Just going back to where I was at before, because again, a lot of people are commenting as well. I'm going to see if I can try my best to answer them as best as I possibly can. Turbo Duckhead. Again, I don't know if I've seen you before, Turbo, but thank you very much for watching. Where is Calamity? I guess he's away doing his own thing, which at this point on, I definitely would want nothing to do with him, even with that. The reason for that being is mainly because his whole video he made, I don't want it to make like a drama thing or anything like that at all, but I'll just say this real quick. Definitely, I would want nothing to do with Calamity whatsoever. I've lost all respect from especially after that video he made about Kenny and of course PA and PA Scotland, and more specifically to do with Kenny. Completely lost all respect from him after that with Calamity. I don't know why he would make a video of that, because when I watched it, I was just thinking, like, mate, what the hell are you doing? But I guess Calamity is doing his own thing. But even after that, I've lost all respect for Calamity after that. So, but that's just it. That's all I'm going to say on that on the matter. So there we go. Strontium Dog, hello, sir. How you doing? Well, if it's a sir, sorry. Thank you very much for watching the show. There's a question for kitchens. Scale. Oops, I went too far ahead. In fact, actually, where was I the last time I checked? I prefer Nay Chance to Dankula. I do too. I do like his content a lot more, but I still like Dankula's content even with that. Every city has fallen to the minorities. It really is. The Phoenix Sniper was a good one too. White Death, I think. Yeah, that was called White Death. That was also a really good episode as well, especially the history with that. Excellent stuff. Yeah, Chopper Reed. We need a couple of thousand of them in Australia right now. I can see that. Nay Chance is a bullshitter. Calamity is the man. Ball bag of the week. I don't agree with that, but that's just me. My own meat supports itself. Well, A law has been passed in England to identify halal/kosher meat. Supermarkets have to label it as such. Massive victory for animal rights. There we go. That's good to hear with that. What are your views on feminism demonizing men? Because I read a story where 2 teenage girls tried to kidnap a toddler, yet I doubt feminism would complain. Well, I used to be, as I talked about before on the show, I used to be a civic nationalist. I did believe, well, I still do kind of believe now that feminism is just complete utter cancer and all of that. It completely demonizes men. It also completely demoralizes women, also because the whole point of feminism is to make women believe that they're strong, they're independent, they don't need a man and all of that. But then studies have shown that actually the polar opposite comes into effect when it comes to stuff like that. So, for example, if a woman does become a feminist, then they're more unhappy. They tend to make a lot of regrets in terms of, like, for example, not starting a family in regard to that and all of this and that. But here's my current opinion when it comes to feminism, right? I think feminism is basically all a big front for the elite. So what I mean by that is the elite always put so feminism, and the elite who push this type of stuff, telling women that they're strong, they're independent, they should be going back in the workforce, be a manager, be a CEO of a company, and all of that. But if you really actually pull away the curtains and see what's really going on here, it's basically a way for all these big elites to make more profit, and when it comes to that, that's ultimately what it comes down to. And it's like, wait a minute, but you're a feminist. Like, do you honestly, and you believe in women's rights, do you honestly support something like that? But at the end of the day, women tend to be a lot, and I don't know if this was a study or anything like that at all, but from what I've heard, and again, it affects differently when it comes to women, but women tend to be a lot more happy when they have a family or they're being like a housewife when it comes to that. As I said, there's been studies when it comes to feminism, and it's making women a lot more miserable, especially with stuff like hookup culture is also being implemented as well. Basically, fuck as many people as you can, whether it be men, women, and doing all kinds of degenerate stuff in the process. So hopefully that may answer your question, Colin. I actually do appreciate the questions, Colin. So hopefully more people would come into play with that in terms of future questions. So, but we'll see. Even that being said, I think we're coming towards the end, but there's so many questions. There's so many questions that come on here when it comes to that. But hold on one sec. The biggest recruiter of terrorism is to shut down free speech or access to political power. Yeah, I can see that. Black pudding, try Clonal Kitty. Is that how you? Sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If not, my apologies. Black pudding from West Cork, the breakfast of gods. All right, that's fair enough. That's it. He might make an appearance at some point. Let's see. Baked beans with pork pie, sausage with potato scone, and a cup of tea is known as a police station dinner. Dragon Energy beans. No, I'm with Moody on this one. It's funny how our taste buds are other folks. I love them. I know. Let's see. They serve to be honest in custody. That's all says of the laughter. Good vid. Dragon Energy. Jodie is lovely. Her journey is something else. She's got a lot to say. Definitely, I definitely do agree with that. As I said, especially with her speech yesterday. As I said, I've heard about her backstory, becoming a nationalist, in the past, and all of that in previous streams she did. But there were a couple of moments in her speech she said yesterday that did caught me off guard, and a lot of people really thought that it was a very emotional speech she gave. I think there were even a couple of times where she did almost kind of cried, but you can kind of, it's one of those things, she didn't cry, but you can kind of hear it in her voice that she's kind of like, she's just about to cry, but trying not to, sort of thing. But yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, a really good speech, and she is definitely a lovely from what I've seen yesterday. I hate how feminism demonizes men, yet they won't say anything when two teenage girls tried to kidnap a toddler. Well, they wouldn't do that because it would defeat the whole narrative with that. Sargon of Mossad, I can see that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Peanut butter on chips, what the F? Yeah, I wouldn't be a fan of that. Five Guys cook their chips in peanut oil. I think it's an American thing. One thing I've noticed in the Netherlands and Belgium, many small shops have cats in them. I like cats. Yeah, I think there's also places specifically like cat cafes. I know it's really popular in places like Japan and whatnot that are really popular for stuff like that. But I don't know if you get places like that in the UK. Well, mainly like the bigger cities like London, Glasgow, or Edinburgh for that matter, like, you know, cat cafes and whatnot. Doomers is used a lot to describe them. Right, that's fair. Gamma sandwiches is it was in Premier somewhere, I can't remember. Oh, that was just a question. That's fine. No worries. It's an ad. The Wagwan ad is by Jurgle, right? That's fair. That's fair. Right, where's Mark's page just now? What I'm just going to do is that, of course, as I said, we're just coming up to the end of tonight's stream. Let me see if I can... I'm just going to see if I can find Mark's Telegram channel real quick and then post the links in the chat just now. Because obviously, as I said, Mark will be streaming later on with Sam and Patriarch. So if you want to check out that stream, I'll see if I can find the links here. Should be there. Hold on 1 second. God damn it. It should be here. I'm certain he did post these earlier on. Where are they? Oh, tonight at 7 p.m. UK time, I'm joined by Sam Melia and the Patriarch as we play some gaming, chat, and humor. Join us on D Live. Here we go. That's fine. Oh, so just only streaming on Mark's Odyssey channel. All right. I thought it'd be like other platforms like not Jody, sorry, like Laura's D Live. All right, fair enough. Anyway, I'll post this here. My apologies, folks. I know tonight's stream was all about the conference yesterday. I know that there wasn't exactly a lot of topics to cover, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed tonight's stream. Then we'll see from there. You can always leave a comment down below once the stream is all up on the channel. Anyway, just so you can tell me what you thought of it, and then we'll see from there. And what I also find is the Wagwan ad is on. Right. Is that how you find? Yeah, okay. So spell it right. That's fine. Okay. Wagwan. Okay. So I'll see if I can find that later for that ad on Google. Right. Excellent. Well, really enjoyed the stream tonight. I know I might not have read every single comment on here, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed tonight's episode with that. So there's a dog cafe in Manchester. Of course, it'd be in Manchester. That's a major city in England. I do know that. But that's fine. That's definitely fine. Cool. Well, as I said, the link for Mark's stream is in the chat just now. So if you want to head over there just now, then please definitely do so. Please tell him I've sent you, of course. And that's pretty much it for this fine evening. So I shall be back this Thursday coming on the... What date would that be? That would be Thursday, the 7th of October, right? Of course, that stream will be 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. And I'll see if I can find some topics to talk about for that particular stream. But we'll definitely see from there with that. So we'll see. But until then, and also, sorry, one last final thing. If you get the chance to, I hope it doesn't play here, but if you get the chance to, please check out PA Young Scott's new episode, which is, of course, episode 5. I'll post the link for that episode here. And there we go. Perfect. So please get that. Oh, hold on a sec. Cheers, Chief. Great stream. Have a good evening. Have a good evening to you too, Blue Minotaur. Thank you very much for watching. Wait a minute. Is that my message in the chat? Sorry, 1 sec. There it is. Cool. Please give them a watch with that. So what I'll do now is I will see if I can find an outro song. Of course, as per usual. What to play us out with tonight? Hold on. I wonder if... Yeah, I'll play this. Why not? I mean, I might have heard it before, but we'll see. Actually, because it says the best sound quality. Right, okay. Excellent. Sorry, folks. Oops, 1 sec. Right, I'll put myself on mute. And as I said, thank you all very much for watching. This is Chief Moody. You have been watching the Mood of the Nation podcast. And I will see you all on Thursday, the 7th of October with episode 31. Thank you again. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much, and good night. Thank you.
Yes, we want to be free, live our lives as they should be. Here's the thing, well, that's nice. Every action has a price. We're meant to be much more than this, and find a home which we all miss. So it's time to grow up as we're ticking down the clock. Forever keep in mind, we're fighting for our kind, to learn from those before, our future made secure. We were meant to survive, to transcend, go forth and thrive. Find the light, leave behind all the things that made us blind. It's up to us to show the way, to hold the torch, come what may. We will do all we can till time's not running through our hands. Forever keep in mind, we're fighting for our kind, to learn from those before, our future made secure.